This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy has brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee has deceived thee, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread has laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Verse 8. Should I not in that day, says the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, even destroy the wise men of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushua, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushua. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Rakha Kwadash. And as always, I want to give thou honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and unto the sincere brothers that taught me this truth through the will of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Peace and blessing be unto the elect, the house of David, the tabernacle of King David that the Lord is raising up in these last days, which is made up of you believers of the nation of Israel, which is made up of you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and scattered Israelites amongst the other nation that look like the other nations, but according to your pedigree, you go back to the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom. All right, now I have a clip that I want to get into. Lord willing that this lesson can be edifying as well as uplifting. All right, as we are in this is December the 1st, 2023. All right, which is the so-called last month of this year of 2023, as we're entering 2024. But as the elder Tahar from the Great Millstone Camp has said, 2023 is the year of prophecy. And it really was, man. A lot of things happened in 2023, man. Okay? And it's so beautiful. All right? And all we can do is just give more glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua. You see? And just to be very thankful. But real quick, I want to get into this this lesson. As you can see, the title of this video that I have is Crazy Bone exposes private prisons that are linked to rap music. All right. Now, Crazy Bone exposes, private prisons that are linked to rap music. Now, if you don't know who Crazy Bone is from the Thugs and Harmony the hip hop rap group. All right. The group was created by ECE from NWA. All right. And now he was given this interview where he speaks about this private, all right, or secret meeting that he had back in 1991. All right. Now, if you know about what was going on during that time in the 80s, the early 90s, okay, well, during that time, back in that time, Esau was building up these prisons, right? And you understand that Esau is all about money, okay? One thing about these heathens, especially Esau, their god is money, riches, all right? So while back in that time, Esau was building up these prisons, basically they needed customers, all right, the inmates, people to fill up these prisons, all right? And you know for sure the people was the Israelites, you see? And now I'm gonna play this clip, man, and I mean, this is deep, very deep, because during the 80s, you have you had the president Ronald Reagan, where there was, he was declaring war on drugs, you see, and the same as I believe two more former presidents before Ronald Reagan that was bringing this war on drugs, right? And now we know about what was going on in the 80s. We know what was going on in the 70s, all right? A lot of drugs was coming into the streets of America, man. Now during the 80s, you had people like Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross. Now, if you know who the real Rick Ross is, not the rapper, but the real Rick Ross, okay, he was he was a drug dealer. All right, he was a Jake, but he was a drug dealer, right? And now he wrote a book. Now he's exposing Esau as well too. All right, he's exposing these devils. He's coming out. He's saying that his supplier, okay, was the CIA. All right, and it's funny too because now they making movies about the situation. A good movie to watch is Snowfall. All right, if you have Hulu, go watch Snowfall, man. And you got to watch this with a spiritual mind, with a third eye. All right, you see. But when you think about it, everything's being linked up. All right, and everything is just coming together like a puzzle. You see. Now, during that time, all right, late 80s, early 90s, like I said, that time Esau was building up these prisons, right? And he needed customers. So what he do? All right, he used Jake's talent, all right, particularly in rap, to create songs that would cause the youth of Jake to uprise and to create crimes so that could justify them being put in prisons. You see? And now we know because now rap music came out, I believe it was in the mid 70s, going into the late 70s. You see? All right. So rap music became very, very popular. All right. And it was influenced throughout the whole world. You know, hip hop. You see? Now, once again, okay, I'm about to play this video, and here now and then, Lord willing, I'm gonna stop it so we can back it up with the scriptures. All right. And once again, this secret meeting, all right, it had changed the rap music and destroyed generations, man. Okay. All right. Now let me see. Let me see if all right, I'm thinking if I should just, I'll tell you what. Let me open up with another scripture. All right. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 10, real quick. And in verse 7, Psalms chapter 10, verse 7, and it says, verse 8, and it says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places thou he murdered the innocent. His eyes are proudly set against the poor. Who is the innocent? Who is the poor? All right, that's the Israelites. All right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And you have movies like Straight Outta Compton with, which is about NWA. Pretty much all these celebrity movies, rap movies that talks about famous celebrities, right? So-called blacks, right? To be exact. And, let's say their producer or their owner will be a small hat. All right. You see? All right. But they'll be behind the scenes calling the shots. Okay. Verse 9. And it says, he lies in wait secretly as a lion in the den. He lies in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws him into his net. All right. And the net is what? These prisons, man. All right. The people, that was, because because these prisons was designed, okay, all right, for the poor, you see, and it was designed for us, for the Israelites. All right. So once again, Esau used rap music, you see, to influence them to turn to a life of crime. You see, and eventually being, ending up in prison. Okay. Because when you look into these prisons, these private prisons are owned by small hats, man. And there's a lot of money. A lot of money goes into these prisons, man. I mean, a lot of money comes out from these prisons. All right, but real quick, let me just play the video. All right.
The letter is the secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation. Damn. So it says, hello. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for. Damn. Hold on, let me So we gonna tell the story. We gonna tell the story. We ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do? They after us, not scared. Look, Black Van. So look. So he says, between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted. Right. This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business.
You heard it? A small closed door meeting. Okay? With a small group of businessmen. All right? Let me see. Before I keep going, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to keep on playing it.
Business inside
so I can get some more meat off that bone.
To discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music.
All right. So now he said rap music new direction, because before that, when rap music came out in the late 70s or mid 70s going to the late 70s, coming up in the 80s, rap music was, mostly Jake. You didn't have no gangster rap, okay? Back then, Jake were mostly rapping about clothes and women, you see? And Jake, was into fashion, right? You have LL Cool J and so on and so forth, right? Right? So it says that, wait, let me see. It says to discuss about this new direction that the rap music should go into, right? Okay. So coming into the late 80s, early 90s, rap music started changing to a different direction. The direction of being a gangster and promote a life of crime, killing, robbing, and stealing. All right, so keep on going real quick.
It's new direction. Yeah. Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive.
You gotta keep in mind, this is a private meeting, a secret meeting. Okay.
Business practices ever seen. Crazy. So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there. Right. Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop. Talk to them. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me. That's right. A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected all the agreements from us. So now it's going to get to the good part because the meeting about to start. Talk to him, Jake. It says, quickly after the meeting began, hold on one second. Get your popcorn, y'all. Popcorn, get your pistol. No, for real now. Quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable and the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons.
So they put millions into the buildings of private owned prisons. All right, the small hats. You see, the ones that's behind the scenes, the ones that own Hollywood and that own everything, that own the music industry and so on and so forth. But real quick, let me just go to the book of Psalms, chapter 64. All right, because they, as he keeps on going, they had to sign an agreement to keep quiet. All right, but fast forward into many years now later, right? They're being revealed, man. Esau is being brought into judgment. Okay. Real quick, let's go into Ecclesiastes chapter 12, and verse 14. All right. Real quick, let me highlight it. And it reads, for the Most High shall bring every work into judgment, let me read that again. I'm just getting excited. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. You see, and this is an evil thing, okay? All right, and it's being brought out now, man. You see, and as when I had opened up, I opened up with Obadiah chapter 1, okay? Even those that was confederate with D is exposing you, man. I had seen this I seen this little picture that it was a former CIA. He's coming out and he's coming out and saying that they was actually doing this, man. So even your own people is confounding you, man, are revealing you. But real quick, let's go to the book of Psalm 64 and verse 1. All right, and the title says, prayer for deliverance from secret enemies. All right, because the only one that can actually deliver us from this madness, from this cycle, from this maniac, all right, because that's exactly what Esau is. He's a maniac. Okay, the only one that can deliver us from this maniac is the Lord. All right, and it says, to the chief musician, a song of David. And it says, hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of workers of iniquity. All right, because think about it, music is part of our culture. All right, us so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, us Hebrew Israelites, music is part of our culture, man. There's nothing wrong with listening to music. There's nothing wrong with making a dope beat and rapping to it, man. You see, what do you think when you read like the book of Songs of King David? Those are songs of David, man. Those are his lyrics. lack of words, right? This is his poem. This is his poetry. This Psalm 64 and so on and so forth. This is his poetry. So music is part of our culture. You know, making dope ass beats is part of our culture, right? And Esau, he knew that. You see, he knows that. Okay? And this is why he had to take control of this, man. And he had to come up with this meeting. Okay, so keep on going. It says, verse 3, who wept their tongue like a sword and bent their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. All right. They that may shoot in secret at the perfect. Who is the perfect? The Israelites. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, because this is an evil matter, man. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Right? Let's see. Ooh, verse 6, and it says, they search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Let's go to verse 6 in the NLT. As they plot their crime, they say, we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. You see that? Because this devil is cunning, man. Let me see real quick. I have I want to pull it up on the phone, but I'm afraid if I do, it's gonna mess up my screen. All right, but if you look into the definition of being cunning, let's see if we can let's see what we can find here in the Bible, in the Blue Letter Bible. All right, but when you cunning, man, you are a genius into. Oh, I can't do it here. Okay. All right, let me see. Let me just do this real quick. Okay, the water Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. All right, so define the word cunning, right? Having or showing skill in achieving one's end by deceit. All right, or in vain invention. All right. You know, so he's crafty into finding ways into what? And to destroy his enemy. Okay? Because the enemy of Esau is the Israelites. We are the enemy of Esau, right? So he'll find any type of way that he can to shoot at the perfect, man. Right? It says, verse 6 again, it says they search out iniquity. Let me just read it again in the NLT. As they plot their crime, they say, we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. All right. Verse 7, it says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And this is why you have certain individuals, former CIA, coming out and saying these things, man. You see, because one thing about our people, they'd rather listen and they'd rather hear it from the devil himself than to hear it from us, right? You know, but hey. In verse 9 it says, and all men shall fear and shall declare the works of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider his doing. All right. So I'll keep on going back to the video.
And that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who receive funding from the government based on the number of inmates. Mm-hmm. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons.
Mm-hmm. Did you just hear what he said? Now, once again, going into the 80s and the 90s, right? When Ronald Reagan came into office, right? They came with this phrase of wars on drugs. You see what I'm saying? And then you have Bush, all right, Senior Bush, and When he came, he did this thing where they had to be more tough on crime and criminals. You got to be more tough on those criminals, right? And they came with this term of what they call it. Oh man, super predators. Look that up. Look up super predators, man. That was something that was given unto Jake. That was a name that was given to Jake in the late 80s and coming into the 90s, man. You see? Because once again, drugs was hitting the streets like crazy, man. All right. And every single time you had a president, you know, they had to, that, you know what I'm saying, a way that you can win the people over is by saying, hey, you got to be more tough on crime. You see what I'm saying? All right. Because majority of the people in that time, majority of the youth was being influenced by this type of music, man. And this is why you had Bill Clinton, when he came into office, all right, he had a law in California, right? The three strikes and you out. You see, you know, where you might have certain people that had like small felonies or whatever. You see, that will end up receiving like life sentence. All right, they will end up receiving life sentence in prisons. Okay, to put you in prison, man. And another thing that you got to keep in mind, man, when they created these private owned prisons, they created something that's not, you know, because you can pretty much do anything to these inmates, to these customers in these prisons, right? Because it's all about making that money. What they started to do was a lot of these companies, like, you know, companies that we use, like food companies, clothing companies, all right? A lot of clothing companies, all right, were moved. You see, were moved to these prisons. You see, because why? They was receiving that cheap labor, okay, from these inmates. They was receiving cheap labors from these inmates. A good movie to watch or a good documentary to watch is the 13. Okay, you can go on Netflix, watch that, man. That right there is, man, is revealing this devil, man, who he is. You see, because what Esau does, he gives you a false philosophy. He gives you the guns. He gives you the drugs. He creates this super predator, right? And then he'll say, look what they doing. You see? Because Esau, he knows who we are, man. All right? Let's go. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 12, and verse 10. And it says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, in the kingdom of our power, in the power of his anointed, Hamashiach, Yahweh. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, and this Esau, like if you watch that documentary, the 13, all right, post civil war, okay, when post slavery, right? They started to put this image on Judah, all right, the so-called black man, that he was an animal-like person, right? That he was the rapist. Keep him away from the white woman, okay? You see, that he's all out of order, you know, right? That he's a madman, all right? I'm telling you, Ian, watch this documentary, right? You got to watch it for yourself. You see? All right. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is, well, you know, what we trying to say, all right, that yes, it did happen. Yes. But you have to understand and know why it's happening. You see, you have to know who he is, man. Who's the so-called white man and who we are. All right. We're the Israelites and he is Esau. They are the Edomites and we are the Israelites. All right. So it says, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuses them before our power day and night. And that's exactly what Esau does. He looks upon us, and of course he had to do it upon Judah. All right, because you gotta understand, Judah is the head tribe of the nation of Israel. So if you constantly shooting those arrows at Judah, at the head, the whole body will collapse. Okay, all right. So it says, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuses them before our power day and night. All right, look at them. They're the rapists. Look at them. They got the guns. Look at them. They got the drugs. Look at them. They are pushing this false philosophy, and they're the criminal. They're the current criminal ones. You see? Verse 11, it says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of his testimony. And they loved not their life unto death. And that's talking about the elect. All right. Yeah, we was in the world, and we was confused and trying to figure things out. But now because of the blood of the Lamb, all right, because of the mercy that the Lord has given unto us, we came into this, we are illuminated, man. We come into this light, and we can see through this devil, man, and all the things that he's doing, right? Yeah. So yeah, let's keep on going.
It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons.
You see that? Because Esau, their God is money, okay? Their God is money, all right? All right, let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9. And it says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, into many foolish and harmful lusts, which draws men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrow. And let's just keep on going, man. All right. Once again, Esau, God, he's all about money, making that money. All right. A lot of these closing business, a lot of these closing companies, all right, had a connection with these private owned prisons. Okay.
Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this a fucking joke?" At this point, things became chaotic. Right. Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun, and we all backed off. They separated us from the crowd, and all four of us was escorted outside. My industry colleague, who opened up the meeting earlier, hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly, or even those who attended the meeting. Okay. I asked him, why?
There you go. You signed it. All right. So once again, going back to 1 Timothy chapter 6, it says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, They have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through many sorrows. For you people out there, man, you have your Tupacs, your Biggie, your Nas, and all these dumbass niggas. Yeah, and I don't care what you got to say. You can get emotional, all right? You can, well, they didn't have no choice. Well, they have a choice, all right? Because many of our people they sold out to get a piece of that, man, all right? A slice of that pie, right? Slice of the devil's pie. You see? All right, because, once again, Esau, he hired these rappers to influence the youth to create crimes based upon those rap songs. All right? You know? And then one thing is that you can't come back from that, They make sure that you sign they make sure when you sign that's it. Okay? And once again, man, it worked. It worked out. This gangster rap worked out because, look at the condition of our people, man. It worked like a charm because music nowadays is mostly about what? Killing, robbing, and destroying oneself. All degenerate stuff, man. That's why most of our people is just all drugged out, man. And one thing is that our people, we're sheep. All right, let's go to our people. We're simple, man. We're simple. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 6, Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 6. And it says, "But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." A sheep needs guidance. A sheep needs a shepherd. Okay? And this is the reason why we're known as the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We need some type of guidance. All right? Our people are simple. They will believe anything. And our people believe in music. You know what I'm saying? The music that we listen to, right? This is Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. "But he answered and said, I am not sent unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel." All right? And this is why we, being of the hopeful elect, we have received mercy because now we know who is our true role model. Our true role model is Yahweh Shah. Okay? You see? Because where would we be at if it wasn't for this truth? If it wasn't for Yahweh Shah? All right? The scripture says if it wasn't for the remnant, that we would have been like Sodom and Gomorrah. All right? But real quick, let me just bring another scripture to prove and to show you that our people is simple, man. They believe anything that they listen to. Jeremiah 4 and 22. And it says, "For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sawdust children." Foolish, sawdust children is stupid. "They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge." And this is the reason why, still to this day, you have dumbass niggas, man, going to the music industry. They sign away their soul. You see, and they think it's a game. All right? They don't even think about it because most of these dudes they idiots, man. They're not spiritual. They're not leaders. Okay? You got people like Jay-Z, Tupac, all right? Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. But people that our people, they Jennifer Lopez, Mark Anthony, and you got this other fool, what is it? Bad Bunny. These people are not our leaders, man. Beyonce. There's a lyric from a song of Beyonce that she says something bad about the Bible that I don't even want to say it, man. I really don't even want to say it. You know what? Madness. Okay? I don't want to say it. Real quick, let's go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 5. Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 26. And it says, "For amongst my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that sitteth as he that sitteth snares. They set a trap and they catch men." All right. So let me read that again. Jeremiah 5:26. For amongst my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap and they catch men. All right. And that's these so-called celebrities, all right, of our people, man. You see? Your Jay-Z's, your Kanye West and so on, man. These people are not our people, man. All right. These are wicked men. You see, deceiving you and leading you into destruction, man. Because can you imagine the young people being influenced by this type of music and destroying their lives and ending up in some prison, rotting away? You see, you got 13, 12-year-old kids, man. Listen to these psychopaths, right? And they make these type of, and they do these type of actions, and now they ending up in a prison, man. In which one thing is, I heard from the elder, I believe it was Elder Tahar, where in the scriptures or in the law that it says that you're supposed to imprison a person. You know, you have issues. I'm gonna say this: animals have issues being in a cage. So why would you think that it's all right for a man or for a human being to be in the cage? It's not. Okay? One thing is that when you put certain individuals into these prisons, they come out worse than they went in. Let me finish this out, and then I'm gonna get another scripture. All right, verse 27, it says, as a cage is full of birds, so are their house full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great and wax rich. And this is why you have a lot of these niggas are being exposed as well, too. You know, they're all being exposed, man. How wicked and evil they are, man. And they brought nothing but death upon our people. Look, Black and Latino culture is death culture. All right, verse 28, it says, they are wax rich, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. The Lord says, you're more wicked than Esau. Okay? That's what when you find that account in the book of John, chapter 8. All right, ye are of your father the devil. Yahweh Shai was speaking against these wicked ass niggas, man. You more wicked than Esau. Hey, man, so lucky for my French, but sometimes, man, you just, hey, man, you got to bring out this information, man, regardless. So it says, they are wax fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. In the right of the needy do they not judge. They're not rightly judging us, man. And then you got some niggas like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar and Nas and all these 50 Cent. Oh, we doing this for the community. You're not for the You're not for the culture. We defenders of the culture. You're not for us, man. What culture are you talking about? Don't listen to these fools, man. Once again, look, there's nothing wrong with listening to music, but you cannot be influenced and you cannot be trapped by these individuals, man. You see? Once again, music is part of us. Okay? Having a dope ass beat, listen to music. You know, hey, man, we live in Babylon the Great. All right? You know, sometimes you want to go work out. Sometimes you feel depressed or unhappy. Hey, listen to some music, right? There's nothing wrong with listening to music. All right. Sometimes you got to be able to pick up the meat off the bone. Okay. You see, but you got to keep in mind that these dudes is wicked men. It says, shall I not visit? Verse 29. Shall I not visit for these things, says the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. Right? The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. and my people love to have it so. And what will ye do in the end thereof? You know, like you had this clown Kendrick Lamar. He even said in his songs that he knew that he was an Israelite. He said, "I'm not black no more. I'm an Israelite." But what he said, but it's money to get. You know, he pretty much said that he don't. You know, he reject this truth, and this is the reason why the Lord has rejected all those niggas, man. You see, that's just an example, man. All right. And hey, man, this is why now all these people they're being revealed, man. You know, they are being revealed. Okay, because you what? You wanted that slice of the devil's pie, man. You see? Okay. So real quick, let's keep on
Was he
going.
involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, "It's bigger than the music business, and nothing we can do. And, no, it's bigger than the music business, and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences." We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. "It's out of my hands now. Just remember, you signed an agreement." He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property. Damn. So this meeting, bro.
Now that's a lot for a meeting right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and this person later on, he said, you know, this person actually ended up leaving the music industry after this happened. Well, a few years after this, he ended up leaving the music industry.
Okay.
And he said he just, like, you know, over the years he just felt guilty because he said as he sat back and he watched these plans come to a reality
Over 2 decades.
he sat back and was like, wow, they really pulled it off.
Yeah.
They really pulled this off. He was like, they were told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messes in their
No
music.
positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music that they promoted and put out.
So if you wonder where
And this
brand
was-
new
You see that? Real quick, let's go to the book of Psalms 62. In verse 4. And it says, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. All right, that him is talking about the nation of Israel, us. All right, and his excellency is the laws and statutes and commandments. You see, because these devil know that our kryptonite, lack of words, right, that our downfall is sin. To break the laws and statutes and commandments, they know that. You see, but as long as they have puppets, you see, and they push this type of influence upon our people, you know, and we do this type of stuff, they know that we keep on doing this madness, right, that we're always going to be at the bottom and they are always going to be at the top. All right, Psalm 62 and 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse but they curse informally. Salah. All right. Real quick, let's go to Isaiah 14 and verse 12, and it says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?" All right, this is talking about Esau. You know, small hatters to be exact. All right, because they're the ones that's behind everything. You know, and these secret meetings, right? All right, they're known as the illuminated ones because they know something, man, that the average people don't know, and it's talking about this truth. They know about this truth. You see, these small hatters, you know, I'm talking about the ones that's up there, the elites, right? They know who they are. They know that they're Esau, and they know that we're Jacob. Okay, so it says, so that makes them so-called being illuminated. But right here, the Lord in this verse right here, the Lord is mocking these devils, because the true illuminated ones is the elect of the nation of Israel. So it says, how how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation. What is the mount of the congregation? All right. It's talking about the nation of Israel and the sides of the north. All right. Here in North America. You see, because we're still in captivity. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. You see that? That's this devil. All right. And they really do believe that. They really do believe that they have a chance. All right. They really do believe that they have cast away the Lord. You see, but once again, the Lord is mocking you, man. The Lord has deceived you, Esau. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. All right. Let me see. They that see thee shall nearly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Verse 17, which is the point, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners. You see, Esau wants you to go into these prison cells and have you all bug out, okay, and come out worse than you went in. You see, and you might ask yourself, wow, what? Why is all these things happening? Because it's because of the fact that the Lord rejected Esau, man. Esau was rejected. All right. Let's go to Ezekiel 35. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's go to the book of Genesis 27. And in verse 41. Genesis 27, verse 41. And it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. All right. And ever since then, we had this intention between Jacob and Esau. Okay. Esau had this hatred towards us, man, since then. Why? Because the Lord rejected Esau and we end up receiving the blessing. We end up receiving the heavenly blessing, and Esau end up receiving the carnal blessing, the earthly blessing. And Esau is mad because of that. And since then, he has been doing all this evil upon us, man. You see? Let's go to Ezekiel 35 and verse 5. And it says, man, one thing you got to keep in mind is that, hey, man, you really, this is the truth, man. All right. You got to, like, you know, like the Elder Gabar said, I mean, you really have to, you know, stop thinking of them as being so-called white people, man. And really think of them for who they really are. They're Edomites. Okay? And then you have to think for yourself who you really are. You are an Israelite. You see? You have to know what's really going on. Okay? Ezekiel 35 and 5, and it says, because thou hast a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, which is now, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, says the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee Says thou has not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Okay? And we're coming into that time, man. You know that the Lord is coming for you, Esau. You gonna become the prey. Okay? According to the scriptures. The scripture says that vengeance belong unto the Lord. You see? All right? You know what? I'm just gonna end it with that. Okay? I hope that, let me see if I can get a little bit more.
Went, if you wonder where Brand Nubians went, where Pro Righteous Teachers went, where Public Enemy went, where KRS-One went, and all sorts of groups like that was talking, even Queen Latifah and Moni Love and those, you know what I'm saying? It's a back door.
Yeah, anything that was harmless, fun rap, you know, anything that had a message in it had to go.
Yeah, that's why if you even notice though, now
we talk about that all the time.
Even be brief with it, you know what I'm saying? Those charms that came out like maybe in 1988, 89, the African charms, those they lasted for about 2 years and they disappeared real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Esau did that, man. This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 4. And I'm just gonna end it with this. Whereas Edom says we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thou sayest the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord has indignation forever. All right. So with that, Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying as well as uplifting. Salakia. I hope that this lesson was edifying as well as uplifting. And with that, I want to say shalom.